Waiting for my favorite day of the week. I'm in the sun, but no one sees me. I see, I feel everything around me, while the rest of the world just watches TV. And all I have is enough to get by. Who needs weekends when Thursday on your side? Why can't we both forgive and try a new way? We can both live life like every day is Thursday. And I have enough to get by. Now who needs weekends when Thursday's on your side? And we laugh, and we cry, we hold each other every night. Take a chance, and we can try to live Thursday every single night. And all I have is enough to get by. Who needs weekends when Thursday's on your side?
Namaste, greetings and salutations, good vibes. It's Thursday evening. It's 9 o'clock and it's Thursday night vibes with Master Rochi and Caitlin on the patio. Would you like to say hello, Caitlin?
Hey,
Hey, how are you doing tonight?
I'm okay.
I'm feeling kind of tiki tonight.
Tiki?
I'm tiki. Freaky tiki. So how's your week been?
I'm just tired of all the COVID stuff. A lot of COVID stuff has happened this week.
A lot of COVID stuff, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, we had one of our residents test positive, and then every resident that person came in contact with without a mask on is considered exposed, so they have to go into what we call a yellow zone.
Right on.
And so, yeah, a lot of COVID stuff. It's a pain in the butt.
Right on.
I'm
right
tired
on.
of it. I'm ready for them to start treating it like it's the flu. I'm completely over it.
But it's not. It's COVID.
Yeah, but it's a virus, just like the flu is, and viruses are going to do the same thing viruses have always done, and continue to mutate and spread. There's no getting rid of COVID because it's a virus.
Oh yeah, it's going to be around like the flu each year.
Yeah, so I'm really ready for them to stop it with these COVID precautions and just treat it like it's the flu. Because even, okay, before COVID, pre-COVID, in a nursing home, if somebody tested positive for flu A or flu B, we did droplet precautions on them like we do now with COVID, where you have to wear the gown and a mask and gloves whenever you go in their room. So I don't know why we have to do all this yellow zone. Oh, we're going to quarantine these people because they were exposed. I'm over it. I'm very over it.
Right on. We've got an interesting show tonight.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, we're going to be talking all about CBD and drug testing and the different kinds of drug testing. Then I think that we have really a lot of stuff to put out that's going to be interesting to people. That we are going to look at the cut and time. But on the next show.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, because there's that's probably the biggest question I get asked if I use CBD, can I test positive on a drug test?
That's a lot of people's fear too.
Yeah, and
Because when I mention to people that they should try CBD for something, that's what I hear 100% of the time. If there's somebody that hasn't used it before, is, well, what do I do if it makes me test positive for COVID? I don't want to take that because it's going to make me test positive for COVID. Or not COVID. Where am I?
I sometimes wonder that myself.
I'm still at work.
Brian
Anyway,
Evans said good evening.
Hey, good evening, Brian.
anyway,
Good evening.
I
Well-
don't want to take that because it's going to make me test positive for weed.
Well, I guess one of the first things that we have to kind of break down is there's different grades of CBD and cannabinoids. You have your full spectrum, which contains everything and even possible trace amounts of THC, 0.03. So you have that. And that is the best therapeutic is the full spectrum because you get what's called the entourage effect,
Right.
where you have everything that's working together to really get the benefits of the CBD. You get the other terpenes and the other flavonoids and other cannabinoids, and they all work in harmony together. Your next set is the broad spectrum, which has absolutely no THC in it, and it is kind of the middle child of the therapeutic levels.
Mhm.
It's not going to be nearly as therapeutic as the full spectrum. You are going to see some results from it, but you don't have to ever worry about being caught in a drug test using broad spectrum.
Right.
Then the third is an isolate. And the isolate is just a raw CBD by itself. That's it, nothing else. And that's not going to cause you to test positive on a drug test.
Right.
But it is absolutely the least therapeutic of all. So, as the opportunity, well, first let's say, the answer is, can you be be found dirty on a drug test by using CBD? Yes and no. Drug tests cannot tell the difference between CBD and THC or all the variants. What they look for is a metabolite. And all they do is they say, yes, it is present, this metabolite's present. It doesn't tell them when the person consumed, how much they consumed, how great of amount. All it does is say, yes, there is, you're testing positive for cannabis.
And that's
Period.
a urine drug test, right? Is
That-
that just the urine drug
That
test?
is just the urine drug test. Now, what they can do is, once a urine drug test has popped, and that may be all the further a company goes, but you can request a mass spectrometer and chromatograph.
Is that the blood test?
No, this is
The hair follicle?
no, this is another lab test. But between those two, they can actually break down and find the difference between the different particles.
Right.
But that is a longer, much more expensive test, and that's only really done if it's requested or ordered or something. That's not what they normally look for.
Well, I know for jobs, some jobs wouldn't be willing to do something like that just to get somebody hired on.
Well, funny that you should mention jobs, because going along with the drug testing is a total chaos in the HR industry, because with more and more states becoming legal and more restrictive information being allowed out,
Mm-hmm.
there's a huge issue with finding employment.
Mhm.
Companies just can't find enough employees. So some of the biggest hirers, like Amazon and Walmart, do not test for cannabis.
I know that Walmart, it depends on what state you're in, whether or not they test for cannabis, because in Indiana, they do still test for cannabis. But Staples, like Staples,
Hmm.
the office store, their distribution centers and even their office stores, they don't test for cannabis at all because they're based out of California.
Right. And a lot more companies are moving to this because there's so many areas that are, what, 40 some states, 40 states now have some type of legal cannabis. And you're looking at people also that are working across state lines, what's legal in their home state, what they can do, versus, coming to a prohibition state and applying for a job.
Right.
So there's a lot of issues, and it seems like a lot of the human resources are now opting for uh, not testing for cannabis at entry level positions or non-safety related or security related positions. And then for some of those are still going to require drug testing, and for very good reason.
Right.
But for initial hires and stuff, a lot of companies are stepping back from that.
Right. But yeah, based off of what I've seen in the job area, a lot of companies just don't test for marijuana because they have other facilities or warehouses that are in states where it is legal.
Well, it's also a barrier to job entry.
Yeah.
For many minorities. And also, let's face it, lower socioeconomic class.
Yeah.
Of all races, and that is a definite barrier to entry into the job market. And I'm glad to see a lot of these companies stepping up and saying, we don't care what you do on your own time. Now, if you come in and you're stoned or you're drunk or whatever, and you have an accident, we are going to test you and we're going to hold you responsible. I think that's absolutely acceptable.
Yeah, that's fair.
But for, just denying somebody a job for a simple failed cannabis test, I think, especially when it's...
Even if you're not doing cannabis,
right.
If you're doing CBD rather than cannabis for therapeutic reasons.
Well, getting back to the CBD, you can test positive for CBD. If you are on a heavy regimen, because CBD builds up in the fat system just as well as THC.
Right.
So if you're a regular user of CBD, it can stay in your system 30, 40 days after you quit.
Yeah. It really just depends. How long it's going to stay in your system depends on how often you use it.
Well, and it also depends on your age, your activity level,
Yes.
your metabolic level, your hydration level. It's very, very personal, where you could consume and be clean in 7 days. It may take me 14, and we have the same amount.
Right.
So it's very, very personalized. And what's funny is, if I go and smoke a bowl at my best friend's daughter's wedding
Mm-hmm.
on a Saturday, and some of the knuckleheads I work with, do meth all Friday and Saturday until Sunday morning,
Mm-hmm.
and then there's a drug test on Thursday. Those two are going to pass,
Yeah.
and I'm going to fail.
Just because of how the body metabolizes
Exactly.
meth as compared to, and that's because your body doesn't metabolize meth at all.
And that's the thing. Maybe the thresholds need to be changed that are the same daytime or distant thresholds that these other drugs have.
I think if you're, as an employer, if you're suspicious of somebody using a certain type of drug, you need to test them within the ranges for that drug.
Well, now that's where we're coming into some saliva tests and blood tests. Now the blood tests are usually post-accident tests,
Right.
and they can detect use from like 0 to 7 days.
Right.
And then the saliva test is good for 12 hours or...
Yeah, the saliva
14.
test is the most short term.
Right.
Then it's also the easiest test to pass.
Right. We'll get into that in later episodes.
Right.
Right now we're talking about all the possible ways that you could test positive. Now, the next show we do, we're going to talk about all the plausible ways. So even though that what some of the stuff that we're talking about tonight is possible, a lot of it is not plausible. Tell you what, why don't we take our first musical break? And you know who we have on the show tonight?
No, you didn't tell me. You didn't tell me so I could research.
Ah, well, I tell her every week who sponsors the show, and that doesn't seem to help one bit. Hey, it's the Big Kids Show, and we check these guys out, and I'm digging them. But this is their bio. The Big Kids Show is a psychedelic rock band hailing from Central Oklahoma. We love Oklahoma.
Oh yeah.
We love Oklahoma.
The Panhandle State.
Yes, I dig it. I lived out in Sapulpa for a while. My aunt lived in Guthrie and in Stillwater. So, yeah, we got a few roots out there. But roots in Tulsa, Stillwater, Oklahoma City, drawing inspiration from bands like the White Stripes, the Mars Volta, Nirvana, Pink Floyd, Rolling Stones, get this, Roger Miller, Hank Williams Sr., Florence Nightingale, and Franz Liszt. Talk about covering the spectrum of sounds. That's some mixed influences. But this mix culminates into a unique sound best described as psychedelic rock that it inspires and expands the minds of those who dare to take the trip. I'm always daring to take the trip. Let me tell you, never a problem with that. Their upcoming self-titled EP will be available for streaming on YouTube, Bandcamp, Reverberation, along with previously released material. You can also find out more about the band, The Big Kids Show, on the Facebook page. Wow. Do you know who this show is sponsored by? Of course not. It is sponsored by Master Rochi's Garden. MasterRochi'sGarden.com. We have a wonderful selection and just can't wait to bring you some new selections, some new items. They are in development. I am so excited. They are getting closer. But check out what we have right now. And don't forget to check out our Rapid Relief cartridges. These are a blend of Delta 8 and THCO. We have Strawberry Skittles, which is personally my favorite. Yoda, if you're really a originalist and really dig those type of terpenes. And then we have a Super Lemon Haze, which is most excellent too. So stop by MasterRochi'sGarden.com. Check out all of our wares. Say hi, subscribe, and
I'm sorry, were you saying something?
you want to tell Waylon to... Waylon, why don't you give us some of those tunes? Right on, right on. We will see you on the other side. Welcome back. That was a Big Kids Show. Caitlin, did you enjoy them?
I did. There's a bug on me. I did.
Good.
It was nice.
I liked them the first time that they were sent to us, man. And that's coming out of Stereo Bus Productions out in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Right on.
You know, Brian's always looking for new artists to help out and get going. So he's been bringing us some fantastic people over the last few weeks. So we've got some, I think we got some special stuff planned coming out, probably beginning of next year. But it's in the works right now, so looking good. Looking good. Well, we were talking about drug testing and CBD, and something that may surprise some people that you could. Now this is possible, but it's not plausible. Is with the infused shampoo and conditioner actually be found positive on a hair follicle test for CBD, but it would take quite a prolonged use. I guess it is plausible for it to get down and grow out to the length that it would be useful for hair follicle testing. So there is a possibility using CBD infused hair products.
Or for our bald gentlemen, the body washes.
No, the body washes, creams, and salves with CBD do not penetrate deep enough to reach the bloodstream. Therefore, you cannot get any type of psychotropic effects from creams. Man, believe me, as easy as creams are, to make over the time, if people thought they could get high by slathering cannabis cream all over their body, we would have massive amounts of cannabis cream.
But could it if you use body wash and you have to have a hair follicle test and you don't have hair like you, and they take it from your armpit and you use the body wash on your armpits and your chest, could it cause you to pop positive for CBD?
Same thing. It would take that length of time of using it to build up and grow out for the length. So it is plausible, but there's not a whole lot of. There's special cases where there's hair follicle tests.
Yeah, so I know they use hair follicle tests in child custody cases, and here recently they've started requiring hair follicle tests for CDL drivers. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Yep, you have to have a hair follicle test to become a Class A CDL driver.
I did not know that. Well, that's interesting, because part of the drug testing is causing a driver shortage.
Yes.
Because while cannabis is legal in some driver states, the federal guidelines is that cannabis is an illegal product and therefore is, grounds for not passing the drug test.
Now, does alcohol also show up on a hair follicle test?
No.
No, I didn't think so.
No, I do not believe so. I can double check that. I've never looked.
Because
for a hair follicle test.
Well, because okay, so to get your Class A CDL, you have to take the hair follicle test. Right. Now, if alcohol is on the hair follicle test, then they can see your alcohol use for X amount of time. Could that cause them to determine whether or not they want to accept you into the CDL class?
That I don't know. I have no idea on that.
Right.
But that might be something to research and check into.
Right.
So, but yeah, you can use creams, you can use other things, and they will help with pain and all. It's just the THC does not penetrate.
Right.
And so it's still very good to use, and you're not going to cause a failed drug test for creams and salves. Now let's get to one of the big subjects. It's Delta 8.
Oh yeah.
Now, Delta 8 is federally legal
Mm-hmm.
due to the 2018 Farm Bill
Mm-hmm.
because it is a cannabinoid derived from hemp. So, totally legal theoretically, federally.
Mm-hmm.
Can you test positive for the use of Delta 8?
Yes. Delta 8 actually pops up as just THC on a drug test.
Yes, it does because it's only one atomic bond away from each other in its structure, which makes Delta 8 half the strength of THC.
Mm-hmm.
Now, with all these high powered strains, some of the high powered Delta 8 strains could be equal to or greater than the lower strength Delta 9 strain.
The regular
Yeah,
THC,
the
as
regular.
most people would know, which is Delta 9.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
So but it's THC light. It has half the strength, but it's a longer effect,
Mm-hmm.
a different effect. It does not leave you couch locked or locked inside your own head.
I've heard people refer to it as diet weed.
Right, and I'll tell you, a lot of people are switching to it just because it is light and uh,
Legal?
not as
Light and
sedated.
legal.
Yeah,
Light and legal.
yeah, light and legal for now.
Well, there are
But
some states actually that have legalized the use of Delta 8.
yes, and Indiana's looking to be one of them. But Delta 8 metabolizes almost identical to Delta 9 THC.
Mm-hmm.
That's where the uh, mass spectrometer and the gas chromatograph comes in,
Mm-hmm.
where they can actually go down. So if you are using CBD uh, legally and for regular routine, which we encourage you to talk to your doctor before starting any cannabis or CBD routine.
Yes.
We want to make sure it's safe, effective, and educated use
Yes.
for all CBD and cannabis products.
Especially if you have to take any kind of not over-the-counter medications, prescription medications, because CBD can affect what your prescription medications do and their efficiency in your body.
So talk to your doctor and pharmacist before starting any cannabis and CBD regimen. Very, very important. Safe, responsible use.
Yes. Yes. But the first case I actually heard about, where they had to get down on the gastromolecular levels for Delta 8 and Delta 9 to determine which one was which, is a guy was actually arrested under a DUI for driving while intoxicated while using THC.
Mm-hmm.
He had just used Delta 8 and he tried to tell them that, and he had just tested positive for THC. And he told his lawyer that, and they got out the testing kits.
Mm-hmm.
And it turns out he was just using Delta 8 because on a regular field test, even if you have to take a drug test for work, it's gonna pop positive that you've been using THC. It's not gonna say what
Right.
kind of THC.
But you can fight it, but it's expensive.
It is.
And it's it's long testing. But you're exactly right. If you have been using legal products
Mm-hmm.
and get arrested, there are drug tests that will go down to isolate if it was Delta 8 or Delta 9.
Now, if it were me, if you're in a state where regular THC, which is what I'm going to refer to it as because that's what most people know it as, if you're in a state where it's illegal, you're gonna want to do that testing, because if you get caught with that stuff, you could get up to 5 years in prison for minimum sentence on possession of THC, or even if you're driving and it's in your system.
Yep.
And that's no bueno.
Yeah.
I'd rather pay the money and be free to go, especially since it's legal. You're using Delta 8.
Right. But we have a lot of, and this is interesting because this is coming up in the courts, that a lot of states are making Delta 8 products, THCO products, what's the
HHC or HXC, they're
Yeah.
interchangeable terms.
those Delta, the Delta 11 now.
Yeah.
So they're grouping all of these products in with Delta 9 regular THC, making them illegal. However, there was a Ninth Circuit court decision saying that yes, these are legal because they are under the 2018 Farm Bill. It's much more than it's not that easy. It's actually over branding and some other stuff, but it's favorable as far as a look ahead on setting apart Delta 8 products from Delta 9 or Delta 9 products. So that is hopeful.
Which it needs to set them apart because that would be like grouping Tylenol in the same category as Vicodin.
Well, yeah.
As an analogy.
Yes, but heroin is okay. Cannabis is not. I mean, that is some of the dumbest stuff I've heard. So, we've got to get these laws changed. It's not working anymore. The American people are seeing through it, and this is not a red, this is not a blue issue. This is a we the people have had enough issue.
Yep.
It's time. So much of this stuff has been discredited. Love Lori Ingram on Fox, but she's got this way off base.
Oh yeah.
Unfortunately, because great show, love her, but her take on cannabis is just I'm sorry, selectively informed.
Right.
Where I don't doubt some of the stuff that she shows, but I don't think it's as great of an issue, and there's far more good that we can get out of this than there are harm that's coming.
I agree.
So, what do you think?
What do I think?
What do you think?
About what?
About the world, about time, about anything.
What?
Or would you like to tell us more about?
No, shut up. It's all a
Cannabis
it's all a simulation. It's all a
Cannabis
simulation.
jobs and
It's all
cannabis
the world is
careers.
a simulation. We're all living in the matrix.
Okay.
Wake up, people. Take the blue pill.
So, anyway, that we allowed her rant. But hey, Waylon, I think that we've got somebody that we want to bring on tonight. We haven't heard from him for a few weeks, but he does our opening.
Yes.
Do you know who this is?
Yes, it's David Thompson.
Very good, very good. So we welcome our friend David Thompson, and we will be back with you in just a few minutes.
Let's go, Rick. I ain't got all day, dude. Get enough.
Hey, welcome back. It's Master Rochi and Caitlin, the blue pill babe. So, I can't help it. Every time a bug comes by,
It was a lightning bug. You arse.
no, I've seen you do that. I've seen you lunge at
No, that was a
this is like the
lightning bug.
fourth bug you've lunged at
Well,
tonight.
the other one was on my boobie. What did you want me to do? Let it hang out on my boobie? I don't think so.
No, that's between you and the bug.
That's why I
as
killed
long
it.
as you two are consenting.
No,
you
it
can
didn't.
do
No, I did
whatever
not
you
give
want.
I did not give my consent to the bug. That's why I killed it. Reminder to all men out there.
Boy, she has got a lot of tood tonight. In fact, I think she told me to sit back and shut up, and she wanted to run the rest of the show.
No.
So
Take
I
it
will
away.
grant you your wish,
No.
my queen,
Nope.
my
It's your
princess,
show now.
my princess.
It's all you.
So I will sit back and say nothing more.
Okay.
Rest of the show.
Yeah, I'm gonna sit here and stare at the camera for 20 minutes.
That might be the most intelligent use of the time yet.
That's a burn.
On himself.
Well, what do you think? What do you think
Is
about doing the show outside on the patio?
I like it, but I get distracted by the bugs.
No, I know. You're very easily distracted.
It's a lightning bug.
Flashing lights, lightning
There was a
bugs,
cat behind you
sparkles.
earlier out in the driveway.
Oh,
I like it.
yeah, I'm kind of digging this. I like the airiness. I love being outside next to nature and hanging out, and getting kind of dirty and playing with plants and stuff.
Maybe one night, you see the axe murderer walk along that
Walk
fence.
along.
Yeah, we might
Yeah.
go out and tour the garden some
These lightning
evening.
bugs like crazy tonight.
So
It's because
You
of
want
the
to tour
light.
the garden? You want to just carry the computer out there?
yeah, we'll have to get you an extra long cord or
Yeah.
really get a strong Wi-Fi signal out here.
The
No.
lightning bugs are into the light. They're like, ooh, that's a big girl. Ooh. Ooh.
So,
Maybe get a portable Wi-Fi backpack
right.
and just hotline right in there.
Yeah, we'll get a sat phone.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, that works.
We've had, the trends are looking right now, especially for hiring for companies and stuff we were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, it's very favorable for cannabis consuming or Delta 8 consuming employees, because right now, to get a otherwise very well qualified candidate, and that's the only thing that's stopping them from being hired, the companies are saying, you know what, I'd rather get the qualified candidate, and the hell with the cannabis testing.
Right.
So that's, again, we've got to change the laws. Hey people, we caused all this. We elected the jokers that did all this, and now we got to elect the people to undo all of this.
Oh, yeah. It's been too long.
Yes, it has.
Too long.
Yes, it has. But yes, Delta 9, Delta 10, or THCO, Delta 10, Delta 11, all will come back and make you dirty on a drug test. They stay in your system the same amount of time.
Yep.
Also, if you're a heavy user of CBD cartridges, tinctures, gummies, just CBD, if you're a heavy user of those, yes, you can test positive for a drug test. So this is why you need to discuss it with your doctor and pharmacist, and also possibly with your HR department at where you're employed, if they have random drug testing, because this could be a huge headache for both employer and employee with the shifting and changing laws, and also what's legal, what's not legal in a state.
Mm-hmm.
So
Especially since alternative medicine, the original medicine, is coming back and being super popular amongst the population.
right, well, a lot of our other we have a lot of formulations that are not available yet online, and they are a blend of different cannabinoids, primarily CBD, with other botanicals, and it is a supercharged herbal remedies.
Right.
And I can't wait to start releasing those to a lot more people. So we got some really exciting stuff coming up, health and beauty wise, kind of first aid wise, and healing wise, and it'd be cool.
Mm-hmm. Sounds cool.
Sounds cool.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So you took the blue pill.
No,
You said you took the blue pill.
I was trying to get you to shut up.
Oh.
It didn't work.
So
Clearly.
you're not really a blue pill girl?
No.
Are you sure?
No, because you take the blue pill to go back to sleep and forget everything.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I want to do.
No, Mom! Don't take the blue pill.
I don't think I see any blue pill people around here. I think almost all these people are definitely red pill people.
That's a different blue pill, Jamie.
And
What was that?
That would be a quad.
yeah, it's a quad or a
Wow.
Or side by side.
Something. Some kind of small motor. It's a lot of
That's the downside of doing the live on the patio.
yeah. This is part of the joy is hearing the evening sounds.
Beautiful rendition.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Anyway,
That's a lot of gears for a quad.
what
Well, it's coming closer. You can
What
find
is
it.
it?
We're gonna see it. I bet it's exciting.
It literally came down the road.
No, it's a
there
four-wheeler.
we go.
Four-wheeler?
Told you.
All right.
Quad.
Next week, we're actually going to get into the different types of drug tests, the different panels, and thresholds, and tell you what actually is feasible and what is not feasible on getting hit with a positive. You know, is one toke going to get you hit with a positive? We'll get into that on our next show. So a lot more interesting information coming up on drug testing. The big takeaway from tonight's show is, yes, enough CBD built up in your system can cause a positive drug test for marijuana. However, there are also tests that can prove that it was CBD and not a THC product. If you're in a legal state and all you do is the Delta 8s and you get busted on a drug test, there is a way to distinguish between Delta 8 and Delta 9.
The full spectrum CBD.
Yes, the full spectrum CBD. So, I don't know why you would be using anything other than full spectrum if you were...
If you've done your research and
Yeah.
you know the full spectrum can cause you to pop positive for a drug test and you just don't feel like dealing with the hassle.
But also, if you're doing it for health benefits, the full spectrum is where it's at.
Well, I understand this,
Right.
but there are some people that, you know,
Right. They rather take less benefit and be guaranteed not to pop on a drug test. And I fully understand that.
yes.
And, you know, we may have to look at coming out with some maybe Master Roche light products.
Yeah.
Where we're using some of the broad spectrum instead of the full spectrum. But I am
Or-
still 100% believer in broad spectrum.
Even people that just want to dip their toe into the CBD world and just try it for the first time might just want to try the isotropic, is that what it was called, products, where it's just the CBD isolate,
Yes.
or maybe just the broad spectrum products,
Right.
where it's, you know, less likely to test positive for THC for whatever reason.
Right, but they're also less likely to receive the benefits.
Yes, but they would be aware of that.
And that's why I said maybe we should do a light version
Yes.
of some of our products.
Yes. I mean, I feel like a lot of people would be aware that they weren't receiving the full benefit when they were just dipping their toe in, like I said. Because a lot of people are scared to try CBD for the fact
and-
that they'll test positive.
And that's all right, because one of the things that we're bringing out are some CBD salves, which you get the benefits of CBD, and there is no way that you're going to test positive on a drug test using the CBDs because you're not inhaling or ingesting any of these products. But it's going to take you a little bit longer to feel the most benefits from it. but it's also a very safe way to get CBD.
Right. I feel like the most important thing is being informed about what you are putting into your body, because I have heard people say before that CBD didn't work for them. And
Yeah.
it could be because they didn't try the correct kind of CBD.
Right, correct dosage, correct blend,
Yes.
and there's some like our golden medley where we have, uh, three primary cannabinoid blends,
Mm-hmm.
and they all enhance each other for, uh, you know, different benefits that they offer.
Right.
So with the CBD and the CBDA and the CBG,
Mm-hmm.
it's just a really all around nice blend. And we've had some good referrals, or we've had some good feedback, but we need feedback in the right manner. So, if we would love to hear from you and get to know you, and leave us a review on our website. And our website is masterrochisgarden.com. And if you've tried our products and you like them, let us know. If you've tried our products and you haven't cared for them, tell us why. We're always looking to improve, change, modify, and find what people are looking for. We're very flexible.
Right. Yeah.
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 Right on.
The most important thing, though, like I said, is being informed, looking at the labels of the products that you buy. Because I know some people just go to the dollar store and they see the CBD and they're like, "Oh, I've been wanting to try CBD," and they just buy what's at the dollar store or what's at the gas station, and they don't see whether or not it's full spectrum, broad spectrum, or isotropic.
We've tried and we've preached, please don't buy CBD at a gas station. Or I don't know about the dollar store either. Go with the reputable brand.
You need to pay attention to what you're putting in and on your body.
Yes, most definitely. Most definitely. Well, I think that it wraps up pretty much what I was going on with tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Dare I ask you if you have any thoughts?
That's a mistake.
Okay, well, we don't want to let her think too long on this one question because I'm sure we will all regret it. Would you like to say goodnight, Kate?
Good night.
And, as always,
You say that, I
as
don't.
always,
You say that, I don't.
peace, love, and good vibes. Good night from the patio. Have a safe evening. Freedom, somebody.